Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. Welcome to PokeMMO Stream Recap 469. We are steadily approaching the 500 number. This is your daily source for tips, tricks, information, discussion, upcoming events, guides, tips. We already said that. Whatever it may be, everything regarding PokeMMO happens every single day right here on this channel. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see daily videos uploaded every single day, as well as streams over on Twitch Monday through Thursday starting at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below, all that jazz. Let's actually get into the information and hopefully earn some love and give you guys some content before you make the decision on whether to like the video or subscribe or not. First things first, we do have catch events to cover, and there are a few new catch events scheduled right now in PokeMMO. There is one coming up on the 10th of February. This is actually tomorrow, so if you're watching the stream recap, it's probably today. It might have just barely passed, or it's coming up in the next few hours or so. I might release this stream recap actually 2 hours early to hopefully give you guys a little bit of time to see this catch event a little bit earlier. It's at 10 a.m. ET over at Route 229 in Sinnoh. You have 1 hour to catch Scyther, Pinsir, and Gloom with the species bonuses obviously on screen. If you've never done a catch event before, I do have guides on my channel. Number one on the basics of a catch event, how to submit your Pokemon, how to enter a catch event, as well as a more complicated or advanced one on how to prepare for a catch event and increase your chances of winning. The nature bonuses are +5 for Adamant, -5 for Modest. There is a gift Scyther up for grabs. Non-shiny would be too much of a rare to give away, which is understandable. Non-shiny Scyther, your choice of nature, 4 moves and 6 selectable IVs. So it is a 6x31 Scyther for NU or Scizor for OU PvP, plus 1,000 RP if you're a main account or an Ironman account, winning free reward points right before the Lunar New Year event, which is coming up fast, dude. The Lunar New Year event will most likely drop somewhere around February 17th. PokeMMO holiday events generally drop on the holiday, or like give a day or two, give or take a few days. So the Lunar New Year event is most likely to be coming up around February 17th. So it's coming up very, very soon in about, what, 8 days? 8 days, like a week. We're in the final week leading up until the Lunar New Year event right now. Next up, the next catch event is the Girafarig catch event on Wednesday, the 11th of February. Another at 10 a.m. catch event. Come on, devs, you're killing me, dude. It's so early for a gamer like me. Route 43 Johto. You can catch Girafarig for +2, Flaffy for 0, Pidgeotto for -3, and then a shiny Girafarig is up for grabs with your choice of nature, 2 moves, 3 selectable IVs. I really like Girafarig. I think it actually is a really interesting, underrated Pokemon. It can do some little weird things in NU. It's been power crept a lot. Back in the day, it was more of like a valid option, but it's probably been power crept a fair bit in NU. But it's an interesting psychic normal type. So people always, one of the biggest mistakes you see with Girafarig is people trying to shadow ball it, since it is a psychic type, but it's also a normal type, and you can't shadow ball it. So there's some cool little plays with Girafarig you can do. But there's also it's a beautiful shiny as well, and the free RP is always important and relevant. Next up is the Volbeat and Illumise catch event, a glowing route on Saturday the 14th of February at 1 p.m. ET. So the weekend catch events are a little bit later in the day. 1 p.m. ET, Route 117 in Hoenn. You have 1 hour to catch. Volbeat and Illumise with +4 for Volbeat, +2 for Illumise. Nature bonuses +5 for Bold, +4 for Timid, and +3 for Jolly. And then there is a shiny Volbeat up for grabs with 1,000 RP, of course. This Pokemon, very few pragmatic uses right now in PokeMMO, but if this thing were to ever get access to its hidden ability and get access to Prankster, that would be a really, really big deal. Any Prankstermon is just very powerful in PokeMMO in terms of raids, in terms of PvP. Like every Prankstermon must be considered at multiple different locations. It is just such a powerful ability. Being able to have that priority, get off things like Light Screen, Reflect, Tailwinds, whatever it may be, any sort of setup move with that massive priority of Prankster is very, very powerful. All right, moving on now to our community showcase. Those are our catch events and our daily news covered. Now we go over to the community showcase section, which is a section where you can actually be featured. If you're watching the video right now, if you head over to my Discord and go over to the achievement showcase chat under the Patrouski content, I believe, like drop down, you can see all these people posting their achievements. You can get ideas for your own accomplishments and what you should be working on. The most important PokeMMO question that I see every single day is, Patrouski, what should I do in PokeMMO? What do I do in this indecisiveness? Something we all struggle with. IRL and in game. I think a lot of people load up PokeMMO and go, man, what should I do today? You know, what do I just don't, there's so many options, but none of them sound like perfect or ideal, and trying to figure out, and that's the hard part, is finding what you want to do out of the giant ocean, out of the giant sea of options. I have a video called 63 things to do in PokeMMO that I personally watch my own video every time I don't know what to do, like, or I'm bored. So there are ways to find things. This is a similar problem in all different types of MMOs. In old school RuneScape, you have a term called bank standing, where you load up and you stand at the bank and you don't do anything because you just have a hard time deciding what to do that day. And it's a very real human feeling a lot of us go through. And I hope that the achievement showcase can motivate some of you to have something to do today. First things first, this player Vault got his first ever 5x31 Pokemon, and also the first Pokemon for his OU PvP team that he's building. I thought this is a really cool moment. I think this is a really special moment. Things like your first shiny, your first 5x31 Pokemon, they just mean so much when you're new to PokeMMO, and it's a really cool thing to see, man. So congrats to Vault on his first 5x31 Pokemon, the Starmie. It's a really good time actually to go ahead and go buy and breed 5x31 Starmies if you need one. I wouldn't do it for profit because there's not a whole lot of profit unless you find like some really good deals. But 5x31 Starmies and Staryus are disgustingly cheap right now, and they will not be this cheap in the future. Like, I don't know how long it will take, but dude, they are insanely cheap. The reason being is that the recent Xmas event brought a huge influx of 1x31 Staryus and Starmies into the game via something called the Staryu and Starmie scavenger hunt. You can now go buy a 5x31 modest or timid Staryu Starmie for 300, 400k. Like, it's a perfect Pokemon, and it's a very powerful Pokemon used in both PvP and PvM. If you don't own a Starmie, buy one now. It's the perfect time, right? So definitely check that out. Next up, I'm a big advocate of don't pop legendary lures. We've run over the math a trillion times on stream. Legendary lures are financially not worth it, but they can be a little bit of fun. But please, if you're a new player especially, don't pop your legendary lures. You know, just sell them and don't buy them. Like, legendary lures are not, especially if you're a new, it's newer player bait. I often see that newer players, but you know what, I'm drawing a legendary, let me pop a legendary lure and try to boost my odds, and they almost always lose all their Pokeyen or a lot of their Pokeyen. It's not worth it as a new player. But you know what? This time it worked. So I see it very rarely. Zen said, I popped one legendary lure and got Zapdos. Maybe lures aren't that much always of a scam. And you know what? I literally almost never see them work. So I'm honestly just happy to see someone actually get a legendary on a legendary lure. I see very few screenshots of that. Congratulations over to Zen. Next up, some more of the same vein of the previous guy Vaults. This is from Henrik. Henrik completed a beautiful team of, like, a lot of people's favorite Pokemon as well. A beautiful team of 6 Pokemon. The ones that have hidden ability, that need hidden ability access, have it. The Salamence, the Garchomp, the Dragonite, the T-Tar. 4 of which, you know, 4 Mons that have hidden ability access. The Metagross and the Hydreigon don't need it. All perfect natures, and then even then, perfect IVs. 5x31. I think this is a really cool collection for a newer player, newer, probably a few hundred hours. This takes a lot of time, a lot of Pokeyen, a lot of breeding, a lot of thought process. Endgame Pokemon players will often forget, but learning the breeding system in PokeMMO, in my opinion, is one of the hardest things to do in the game. I think the breeding system is so scary at first because you're literally deleting Pokemon. Like, it's a terrifying thing. If you make a mistake, you could lose so much of your capital, so much of the Pokeyen that you have, and it's a scary thing. So congrats to this guy. I think it's a really cool accomplishment, an underrated accomplishment. That is a lot of perfect Pokemon, dude. Congratulations. Next up, same guy as actually the perfect, 6-time the team, right? Henrik, after 2 years of EV training, special attack, he got one of his favorite shiny Pokemon. And I love passive shiny hunts like this. I always talk about, like, there are certain shiny hunts I didn't do on my main account because I would purposely leave them for a passive hunt. Something like Marl, for example. You can actually not shiny hunt Marl, and then just whenever you need to go HP EV train, you go over to Marl, right? There are certain shinies that, like, it's actually in the long run, and it's very efficiency nerd. You don't have to play the game however you want, right? But the efficiency nerd in me, the little bit that is there, right, is like, you know what? Like, I'd rather not shunt Marl you know, right now until I get the shiny. I'd rather just passively eventually get it, and it's cool to see someone do that. So this guy, after 2 years of EV training passively, got a shiny Hitmontop. I love shiny Hitmontop. I think it's one of the most underrated shiny hunts in PokeMMO. I'm a big advocate of that special attack EV training spot for this reason, for this shiny hunt. You can also flame orb farm there and make some decent Pokeyen, like 100 to 150k depending on the economy at the time, while you shiny hunt. Like, I love shiny hunt plus making money methods is a really cool one. So shout out to Henrik on his passive shiny Hitmontop. Next up, we have a bit of a long story for you guys. Well, kind of. We'll go over it. This is Z-Shock, okay? And he wanted to say, I wanted to just show you how insane my January has been for me in terms of shiny hunting. It started by ending a huge dry streak through single encounters, and then I kept doing daily hordes. I even got my favorite egg shiny after more than a year of egging, and it just kept getting crazier. Huge thanks to my teammates who motivated me every single day to keep playing and always give it my best. I want to say, if you are not in a PokeMMO team, join a team. Like, PokeMMO teams are an amazing way. If you are like bored or burnt out from the game and you're not even in a team, you got to step one, join. Teams are amazing. I think being involved in others' journeys, making friends, being involved socially. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, and she plays a lot of PokeMMO. She has over like 12, 13 shinies, right? I think a lot of newer players that play PokeMMO, and I don't want to talk out of my depth, but I think a lot of people kind of discredit MMOs have always been social games, and I kind of feel like we somewhere along the way we forgot that. I think somewhere along the way it became very like efficiency based and like just progress based, and I love that part as well, don't get me wrong, but I don't want people to lose track of or forget that MMOs are a very social game, and it is a lot about being involved in the community, whether my stream chat, the Discord, any other Discords, your own personal team, your own little friend group, whatever it may be. I really encourage you. I think a beautiful part of PokeMMO is being social, being invested in others' journeys, just sometimes kicking it back in Vermilion City and just talking to people, talking to long-term friends on the internet. I think it's a beautiful thing sometimes. So don't forget that aspect. I love that he shouts out his teammates that here for that extra motivation. And here is part one of Z-Shock's journey. He ended a long dry streak getting a shiny Ditto at 87,000 encounters, then got himself a Ghastly at 16,000 encounters. After that, a Golett at 11,000 encounters, then a Shelder, a fishing shiny, a very difficult fishing shiny at 15,000 encounters, then a Loudred at 1,400 encounters. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shinies so far, back to back, under odds. Spinda, then a Spinda at just under 5,000 encounters, and that's just part one. Okay, here is part two. Beldum at 1,600 encounters, a rare egg shiny, a lot of people's favorite egg shiny in PokeMMO. Then Litwick, after the egg shiny, Litwick at less than 1,000 encounters, and then a Lairon at 16k encounters, and then finally we see him go over 30,000 encounters, over rate for the first time in a while, at 42,000 encounters for a Clamperl. For reference, when talking about, from my understanding, when talking about the shiny binomial distribution in terms of PokeMMO, your odds of not getting a shiny but having to have gotten a shiny by 30,000 encounters is around 60%. It's around a coin flip. I always tell people, with shiny hunting, you've almost want to expect half of your shiny hunts to go dry. That's like the average. Not quite. I'm like kind of, you know, twist the numbers for your own mental benefit, but like, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I think it's really important. The amount of people I see who are like, oh, I'm 32,000 encounters dry, and they're like complaining already, and it's like, dude, you can't. It's a long, shiny hunting is all about the grind and the endurance and pushing through, and every shunt is hard in Pokemon. Let me qualify, like, every shunt is hard. You should be proud of every shiny you get, and getting those 32,000 encounters is absolutely difficult and time consuming, and it's a grind. Okay, I don't want to discredit that, but I don't want people to, I guess, start, you know, complaining too early, or start, you know, at a certain point, like, you've got to respect and appreciate that it's just tough. It's tough. That's why we do it. If shiny hunting wasn't as difficult as it is in PokeMMO, it wouldn't be as special as it is. It wouldn't be as revered as it is. It wouldn't be called the best Pokemon game to shiny hunt in by so many high level shunters in the, not even PokeMMO, but Pokemon community, right? So it's a good reminder. I think it's a crazy, like, it's a good statistical thing to remind yourself. Like, a lot of shunts should go dry, and that's why this is so crazy. Like, that's why, like, this is so amazing to go So many shunts under odds. He then went on to get a Drift Blim at 6,700 encounters and a Poliwhirl at 2,600 encounters. So to recap, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shinies in January. This guy got 12 shinies. In getting that amount of encounters in 1 month is really impressive. That's the other, like, he's been fucking grinding. It's not like he just like stumbled into them, right? 12 shinies in January is insane. That's what, 3 shinies a week on average for 4 weeks, with like fishing shinies, edge shinies. This is like such an impressive streak. And then on top of that, 10 out of the 12 shinies were under odds. Crazy, crazy, crazy wet streak. You just got to appreciate when you get it. As a long-term shunter in PokeMMO, you will see wet streaks, you will see dry streaks. The longer you shunt, the more the odds start to even out. So just, if you're dry, keep going. If you're wet, keep going. You know, it's all about just the long-term journey with shiny hunting in PokeMMO. So congrats to Z-Shock. And then I have one more thing to mention. Another player from Team Void hitting rare shinies, man. Team Void has been popping up in my radar every day. You guys are gaming. Keep it up. It's been really impressive to see. First day, his first day in Team Void, he got an egg shiny Charmander. Congratulations to you, Raga. Really fucking cool to see, man. Congrats on joining a really good team up. From what I've been seeing, a really good shunting team. So hell yeah, I'm excited to see more teams like Team Void keep popping off and more teams like Team Void pop off. I love seeing the communal growth, the player growth. Nice job, dude. Congrats on your shiny Charmander. And that is our stream recap intro. Let's jump into actually playing our Iron Man account, making our progress, and hopefully you guys have a good day. Good luck on your shiny hunts as you're playing. As you're watching this on your second or third or fourth monitor, I see you. I know what this is. I know what this content is about, okay? Good luck on your shiny hunts. Good luck on your EV training, your XP training, whatever it may be. Hopefully you've gotten your Lunar New Year event prep done, and if you have not, I have videos on my channel. Please go check them out, okay? Let's go ahead and jump into it, fellas. Any questions in chat that are interesting today will of course be called out in the recap. If you want to ask questions, come join me on stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Let's play the video game. Oh my goodness, no way. Playthrough number 3 Safari Run. No, dude. Wild Safari Shiny Chansey is literally one of my favorite shinies in PokeMMO. Oh my goodness. Now, these numbers might be off, so keep in mind, but this was the numbers that were told to people back in the day in like 2013, okay? In 2013, people used to always say your chance of encountering a Chansey in the Safari Zone is 5%. And then the odds of catching the Chansey, they used to, I don't know if it's true, they used to say were 5%. 5% to encounter, 5% to catch, and then on top of it, back in the day, they said it was 5% to get a lucky egg. For those who don't know, way back in 2013, and maybe even early 2014, way long ago, in early PokeMMO, Pokeyen was actually not the currency used for trading. You could get some Pokeyen, but if I recall correctly, it either wasn't tradable or it capped at like 50k or 100k, so you couldn't actually use it for any sort of like high value trades, right? Now, what was used was lucky eggs. It was something called the lucky egg economy. And it would be like, oh, a shiny Ponyta would be like 6 lucky eggs. A shiny Tentacruel would be like 1 lucky egg. And the way it worked was, this was back when lucky eggs used to be a permanent held item that would just double the XP in a battle, right? But now they had to obviously nerf lucky eggs to make them be a consumable item and just boost your XP for an hour. Also, to be fair, back then, all the XP trading was done via single encounters. Unlike we have hordes today, it'd be a big difference to have a permanent lucky egg, right? But because like lucky egg was the currency, everything was traded in lucky eggs, one of the only ways to make money in that economy was to run back and forth in the Safari Zone and try to farm Chanseys and try to farm lucky eggs. That was one of the only, you know, real ways to bring pure currency into the game. So I have spent so many hundreds of hours running back and forth, absolutely just running back and forth over at the I'm doing my Jimmy run over at the Safari, Kanto Safari. It's one of the most nostalgic spots in the entire game. It was one of the only in-game activities people would do. So to see a wild caught shiny one like this, it is just one of the coolest, most nostalgic, beautiful things in my opinion to see in PokeMMO. The odds are crazy, man. Congratulations to you, Zero. At 460 encounters is crazy. There's a lot of history into a Safari shiny Chansey, man. So all I can say is just congratulations from the bottom of my heart. It's a sick, that is a crazy, monumental life, you know, life not changing, but like a life moment, a moment in your life for sure. Congratulations, Zero, once again. What about a classic PokeMMO server, Patrouski? I'll be the first to say, if they put the resources into a PokeMMO Classic server, I think that shit would be dead in a month. They're like, I loved old PokeMMO. I love the nostalgia, and I would play it. If there was an old PokeMMO server, I would play it for that month, okay? That shit would not last. I love PokeMMO. I always say old PokeMMO was not better than current PokeMMO. Current PokeMMO is in such a better state than old PokeMMO. But there's still nostalgia there, right? It's one of those human experience, human things, right? I see there's a lot of games where I like honestly want, like I would love to see a classic Overwatch or a classic Hearthstone release. I don't see any point for a classic PokeMMO. I think the game was a lot worse, but it was nostalgic and fun and beautiful in a way. So I do get it. What's the best region to start an Ironman on? It's a great question, and I'm not going to pretend to know the 100% best answer. I have my opinion. In my opinion, looking back, I'm really glad I started in Kanto. I think Kanto was honestly one of the best places to start. I think being able to have access to the Safari Zone to start catch a bunch of breeders from the get-go, getting the free XP share, like that was a bit tougher to be fair in Kanto. Realistically, you do just want to get as many regions done as soon as possible on an Ironman account. I think Kanto, having access to that Magikarp farming spot, being able to get a Dratini, it's kind of hard to catch a Dratini in the Safari Zone in Kanto, but it's still worth it for the HM Dragonite. What I can say is I was really glad I started in Kanto. I think Kanto, it has a decent XP training spot in Tentacruel at like Island 6, pretty good EV training spots, good variety of almost everything. It's not the best for like most things, but it's like has really good variety and good basic starting elements. Also, I just know the region very well, so it was easier for me to speed run through. I think that's a really important thing. I think Kanto was a great starting spot, honestly. And then going over to Unova and then getting Hoenn for Shroomish catches and getting a Breloom going is very relevant pretty early on an Ironman account. Yeah, I would say do not start Johto. Johto is the worst region to start on by far for many main account, Ironman account. The boss fights are just hard on your first region's your hardest, you know? Starting Kanto and then going to the Safari Zone and catching like 10 Gyarados with good stats that now you can like EV train and use to take on all the other storylines. Well, now you've made all your other storylines on easy mode, right? I think that's so important for main accounts, Ironman accounts, no matter who you are. It's a great question. Why do people type want to sell X thing fast, quote unquote, in trade chat? Does the fast mean anything? Are they selling it cheap to move it fast? Yes and no. Sometimes people literally just type that to try to incite some fake panic to sell their item, to have someone else like panic buy it, right? So like it depends on the price, really. Sometimes, yes, I have seen people like underprice an item to get the liquidity to get that Pokeyen faster. That does happen in trade chat. I will say nowadays, like, it sucks to say. I love trade chat, and trade chat has positives. I think ditto boxes are fine in but like you can go to my Discord as well, but like ditto boxes are fine in trade chat. Certain things are fine in trade chat. I'm gonna be honest, with the use of the GTL, the trade corner, there's not a whole lot of reason to be in trade chat these days unless you're trying to like not scam someone, but like lowball some, you know. Trade chat is either for ditto boxes legitimately or for lowballing someone, or like sometimes there are niche things like buying or selling high quantities of like Lepa berries or red envelopes, or certain items where like you're actually trying to dodge the listing fee. Dodging the listing fee can be really relevant on your profit margin. So like I'm not trying to like super shit on trade chat because there are reasons to be there, right? But I would say like half of the stuff in trade chat is like I would be suspicious of it personally, not to be too fear-mongery, you know, but I would say there's a fair bit of people trying to lowball or trying to get some panic buyers or sellers, but sometimes it's also just niche stuff, so it all depends. Hey chat, I'm a newer player. I started playing a few weeks ago. How much money should I try to get for this event? Do you mean like before the event? Do you mean like during the event? If you're a newer player, I don't even think you need like having some money prior to the event for some flexibility is nice, but if you're a newer player, I would just use the event as a money-making method. Like, events are usually the best money in the game, right? Whether it's the swarm farming, doing the zodiac thing, and I have prep guides. Someone asked me the other day, like, you know, hey Patrouski, when are your Lunar New Year event prep guides going to come out? And I was like, dude, you know, the algorithm's been weird in early January, February on YouTube. They're out. You know, I have my full raid prep guide for Lunar New Year event, my general prep guide. If you have not seen them, go check them out. If you've already seen them, you understand what I'm talking about. You know, I always say I'm trying to push a new sentiment in terms of like how people want to approach the events in PokeMMO. They're the best money making methods in the game when they're in the game. Newer players, if it's your first event season, I would probably just use it as a way to make some Pokeyen and build up your capital, right? If it's your second or third event season, that's where you use it as like an investment and like you get like the nerdy portfolio stuff. If you want to do that, obviously you don't have to. Understanding your goals and what you want to achieve in the event is really important. Making a plan ahead of time. I cannot tell you how crucial preparation is for events in PokeMMO. If you don't prepare, you are going to be so behind. You are not going to be able to, you're just straight up not going to be able to do certain activities if you don't prepare ahead of time for all of the events in PokeMMO. PokeMMO is definitely, it's an MMO. It's a long-term thought process game. You have to prepare. In my opinion, if you don't prepare, you're just going to be at such a disadvantage. I cannot encourage you enough. Please prepare something. If you're a newer player, that preparation could just be researching what the event looks like, the activities. I cover that in my guides, of course, like just figuring out what to expect. The TLDR is if you're a newer player, I'd be doing some swarm farming for mysterious balls and abundant shrine. Those are the two things you can grind for really good Pokeyen per hour. And then if you're an end game player, you're looking to make investments, you're looking to like do the raids, get the shaman encounter, things like that. So hopefully that gives people some prep. If you haven't prepped, at least this little small ramble and a stream recap can give you some idea of what to look for and what to do. Little PSA and reminder for all Iron Man accounts. It doesn't really matter for non-Iron Man accounts, to be fair, but for all 200 of you out there, all Iron Man accounts in PokeMMO, do not consume your Gracidea flowers to level up your Shaman's IVs. Okay, plant those fuckers and grow more. Like, this is your one chance to get Gracideas as an Iron Man account, is during the Lunar New Year event. And that's really important because regrowing Gracideas is how you affect Shaman's IVs. It's also how you get nature herbs. It's going to be the first time where Iron Men can actually change the natures on their legendary Pokemon, on your Zapdoses, your Raikous, your Entei. We didn't have control over those natures until literally this event. So it's going to be a massive, massive deal. All Iron Men are going to be unlocking legendaries in a lot of ways. So keep those flowers. I know I say Gracideas. I don't know if it's Gracidea. I don't know what it is. I say Gracideas, okay? The dumb little flowers. But do not consume those. Do not, you know, as an Iron Man account, these are very, very precious. You might even want to like grow 5 at a time just in case you mess up and kill them, so you can like try to retreat. You know, these are going to be very, very, very valuable on Iron Man, and you have to be very careful with the sum you get. And then once you get it, once you get infinite from berry farming, you'll be fine, right? Wait, only 740 Pokeyen? That's literally free, but for Iron Man, it's priceless? Yup. That is a great way to put it. Like, it's one of the best examples of like not even that, they're 460 Pokeyen a piece. Like, a great example of an item that is so different on a main account, which what makes the Iron Man account special, in my opinion. I did upload a video recently talking about like all the reasons why I love the Iron Man account and why I recommend others create it. It's not for everybody, but it's a cool, you know, it's cool to know about and cool to know your options. Dude, I haven't even thought about that. Fun fact, Patrouski, if you want Skyform Shaman, you'll need 1,000 Gracideas flowers. That's gonna be like one of the ultimate flexes on an Iron Man account. Also, like, Skyform Shaman's not really used for anything. It's not like that pragmatically beneficial, but just getting 1,000 Gracideas would be a lot of berry farming and planting them. Do you think there'll be alpha starters next year again? I could absolutely see them bringing back alpha starters from a different region. The devs have confirmed vehemently they will never bring back alpha Kanto starters, because I think it defeats the whole purpose. They were meant to be a limited time, like, rare. You don't need alpha starters for any pragmatic purpose in the game. It's just a fun, rare collectible. I think it's fine to have like FOMO based collectibles if they're not, you know, if it was a FOMO based collectible that was like needed for PvP, like if ability patches didn't exist, that would be a big problem, right? But the fact that you can just like put a fire ability patch on any Charizard to get hidden ability access, like, the alpha starters have no impact on gameplay. It's literally just, do you want to be able to Shalfa shiny hunt a Charizard, right? That's the only thing that it really comes down to. So I'm honestly, I'm even in favor of, I don't mind FOMO things for pure visual things. That's just collectibles. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all, you know? Once again, if you needed a alpha Charizard specifically to beat like the red refight or like whatever, we'd have a problem. But you don't, there's no reason to have the alphaness. You just need the hidden ability access for solar power Charizard. So I think it's very likely we see alpha Johto starters or alpha Hoenn starters, things like that in the future. I could really see that. I don't know what event they would save that for. I think that will happen one day. They'll never bring back alpha Kanto starters. That was a one-time rare collectible thing. Okay, can I just say, dude, I get some stinker investments. I get some W's and some L's, okay? I think I'm actually like a little, let's see, how are Lucky Reds, or not Lucky Reds, how are Santa presents doing? How are Santa presents doing? I don't think I'm doing that well on these. Actually, I think I'm back to neutral on these. I think I'm back to break even on these. That's awesome. Now, dude, someone was saying in chat, I can't believe how good Mysterious Great Balls have gone up. Look at this. Look at this graph over the past, what is this? 1 month? They were like 25K here. Now they're like 38K. They've like doubled in price in like the last 1 month. I think I bought 500 of these or so on the main account at like 18 to 20K a piece. I urge players, invest in Mysterious Balls. I have made the easiest, freest, stupidest Pokeyen in my PokeMMO career investing in Mysterious Balls at their bottom out price. Investing now might be a little bit too late. It depends on, that's more of a gamble. But investing in Mysterious Balls in each event season at their bottom out price is just, it's hard to go wrong. It's just, they're just so valuable. That lowered shiny chance. Shiny hunters are crazy. They're willing to do crazy. They're willing to spend crazy about Pokeyen. That's, Mysterious Balls are literally up like 100%. Almost, not quite. Well, I don't know. If you bought them at 18K, they literally are. Like that's, if you bought them at 18K, they're literally up over 100%. That's insane. I'm sure the other ones are similar. I just didn't invest in those as much. Ultra Balls are up to 83. I don't remember what they were during the event. Up to 83. Let's see. Ultra Balls have gone up from like 50K up to 80K as well. That's just, I'm a big fan of the Great Balls are almost always my favorite Mysterious Ball specifically. That's crazy, dude. Crazy. Wait, someone said crazy how expensive Pudgy Penguin got. I have not checked Pudgy Penguin. How's he doing? The Pudgy Penguin situation, is it still insane? Is it crazy how cheap it got? This thing's cheap as fuck in my opinion. But like, to be fair, it has a lot of competition these days. Like the archetype, remember when the archetype of cute little guy on head was first created in PokeMMO? It was a big deal, right? I think it was like the Pumpkats. The Pumpkats and the Trick Kitties were I believe the first cute little guy on head vanity. And now we have, it's a whole like archetype. Now we have the Pudgy Penguin. Now we have the green slime as of recently. We have the frog. Like we just got a bunch of new ones. The white rabbit. White rabbit plush. Yup, that was, you're right. This was the original. You're right. This is a fucking chunker. This was the original cute little fella on head vanity, man. And that one's still, that one has gone up a lot. Wow, it's crazy. So vanities they're just hard to predict. It's why vanities are high risk, high reward. You know, I'm a big fan of sealed product investing, but there's some crazy potential. If you owned like 3 rabbits, bought them at like 20 mil when they were, you know, you're up what, 90 mil. There's some crazy potential there, but it's so risky, man. Like coiled snake hat, that was like 30 to 40 mil, right, during the last Lunar New Year event, and now that's down to like 4, which is still like a hefty price, but like 14.7, down from like 30 to 40 1 year ago. That's why Lucky Red, that's a big reason why Lucky Reds have gone down, the previous year's ones. But these, I could see them going back up. We'll have to see, but that is a crazy lot of it. There's just, markets are hard to predict, man. Everybody's trying to get their bag, and you know, you're just always competing. Yeah, someone mentioned XP trading. I love, quick little PSA, guys. It has never been cheaper in the history of the XP reamplifier existing in PokeMMO to buy an XP reamplifier. Because RP is so cheap right now, which, like, once again, it could be, oh, that's not the GTL, sorry, excuse me. Because RP is so cheap right now, it actually makes it cheaper than ever as a free-to-play player in PokeMMO, which is most people, to buy ocarinas, XP reamplifiers. Like, oh my god, ocarinas are so cheap. These used to be 550k a piece. Ocarinas, XP reamplifiers, shiny charms, these items are cheaper than they've ever been because RP is cheaper than it's ever been. And there are, you know, problems with that, but like, you might as well, if you're a newer player, take advantage of it, man. That's your time to shine, you know? Like, with RP being this cheap, it costs 1.7 mil to buy an XP reamplifier. Usually an XP reamplifier is around 2.8 to 3.2 million Pokeyen, right? Right now you can buy one for 1.7 mil. Take advantage of that, dude. If you don't have, the XP reamplifier has been, I think, buffed once, and it's gotten better and better. It was a while ago, like a year or two ago, to be fair. So not a recent buff, but it's a good item. I think every end game player, and even like mid to end game at this price, arguably any mid game player should have the reamplifier. I have a new XP trading guide coming out hopefully very, very soon that talks more on that. And the XP reamplifier, for right now, when it's so cheap, if you don't have an XP, that's like definitely a big goal. I would encourage a lot of players, if you don't have a reamplifier and you're at that mid game to pushing end game, that's a great goal to shoot for. Someone said, what's the next ocarina in the game? There actually is like one or two, maybe like one of the same. The one ocarina that I could see them potentially doing is a lore or repel ocarina, or both, where what you do is you would like load the repels or load the expert lores into the ocarina, and you would just toggle it on similar to an XP reamplifier, so you don't have to constantly click yes, pop another repel, or yes, pop another lore every time. Because like when you're single encounter hunting or repel tricking or something like that, like you pop, it's very like, do we really need this? You know, they will never do this. People said the same thing for Sweets and Ocarina. I said the same thing. I'll flame myself. I said they would never add a Sweets and Ocarina because what's the point? It would destroy the leopard economy, all blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, technically they could do it if they make it so it's not infinite. People wanted it to be infinite like 4 years ago, which is obviously insane. People said they never would for the, what's it called, Ocarina, you know? It's a good money sink. No, you're not. Sorry, you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they would just have an ocarina that you toggle on and then, oh, it's just infinite repel. That would be insane. That's not what I'm saying, right? You would charge it with your repels and your lures, and it would just simply be a way to toggle on so you don't have to repop them every 250 steps. That's it. It's like such a micro convenience. You could maybe do it to where like there's like a 5% chance for a step not to be consumed. You could have some small benefit to where maybe it extends the lures or repels a little bit. That's kind of cute. But it would mostly just be an ease of access thing for not having to constantly, like, we'll see in 30 lore steps, right? Like, instead of stopping my running back and forth, it might be weirdly relevant for like shiny wars and like hyper efficient shunting, where like literally taking a second to where your character stops and you have to click yes or whatever slows down your shunts, especially over the course of like a 1 month period. Like there is weird relevance for like the super high end. I don't think it would matter much for casual players though, to be fair. But I didn't think that for Sweets and Ocarina either, and people like it, so I don't know. Convenience, I guess casual players and hardcore players, we just love convenience, man, you know? Yo, that actually Paisy. Oh, I wonder how. Ooh, I think there's a decent chance we potentially see Victini this Lunar New Year event. The devs, the two permanent legendaries the devs hinted at the most previously, but to potentially be added as permanent raids in the future, was Mew and Victini. It was about 1 or 2 years ago, I want to say. The devs hinted at Mew and Victini being possible to be permanently added and not being like too busted. Latios and Latias would break the game. They are a big reason Fairy type was added. Those aren't happening. I'm sorry. Like that, like, so I think Mew and Victini are the most likely. Anything is possible. Not to shut down the Latios idea, to be fair. It's my opinion. My guess is just as good as yours. Okay. I think it's crazy that we saw a new permanent legendary raid during Halloween being Cresselia, then another new one being We've already seen 2 permanent legendary raids this year. If we see a third one for each event, that would be fucking crazy. I'll explain why. I'll explain why quick sec, King. I think we see Victini or Mew, and I almost lean Victini. I feel like PokeMMO players or PvP players potentially want a more offensive. I think they're just always happier to see an offensive mon versus defensive mon. I feel like Mew, I don't know if Mew would make as much of a, would Mew be an OU? Would it make a competitive impact? I don't know enough about Mew's PvP history. Mew would be really interesting for utility. Mew would be a really interesting utility Pokemon in my opinion, but I could be wrong. So I'm gonna put my bet on Victini, but anything's possible. That's a great question. I was buying some repels on the Ironman account. I wanted to stock up before the event, and someone said, "What are the repels for in the Lunar event?" Often you'll want to pop a fair bit of repels. I would stock up on repels before the event. You want to buy a lot of repels. Not that it really matters time-wise, but you end up popping a lot of repels by trying to get to the swarm locations. It is time is really important. Like being able to get to each swarm and each activity that's like time limited during the events, right? Your time is super important. It's super worth to pop repels to get to the swarm Pokemon faster, quick ball them, catch them fast, whatever, and then go turn them in for mysterious balls. So often you'll use repels to get to those swarms a bit faster. Great question. No fucking shot, bro. Effie Burke, one of the goats of PokeMMO, was like, "Yo, Pat, today I got a wild encounter Hitmontop. Want to see?" And I was like, "Do you mean a shiny wild encounter? Because that would be like insane, dude." How do you just casually drop this? This is one of the craziest. So Hitmontop is a crazy shiny because number one, to breed it, you have to like breed it down to Tyrode, which is a baby mon, and then level it back up to Hitmontop every time, or one of the Hitmons, and it's really annoying. Okay, to wild encounter it, it's a 5% chance in a certain layer of Victory Road Kanto. It was 5th phase. Isn't this an average of like 20? If it's 5% chance, is it 20 phases on average? Dude, that's insane. That is, congratulations. Holy. Is a beautiful. Also, 31 defense is actually a really good, obviously you know this, but like it's actually a really good, like we take those IV rolls. That's crazy, man. Congratulations, dude. What the fuck? That's a beautiful wild shiny to get. Super, super, super rare, man. You also just see so few of these in the game because it's really rare people like randomly run into Hitmons, and you have to like lure for them all. Like there are certain rare shinies you'll see, like, oh, this guy random. It's like a good example. Like it's hard to find one, but like you can randomly run into like Shroomish is a good example. A lot of people can randomly run into Shroomish while going through Petalburg Woods because you have to go through it for the storyline, right? It happens, things like that, right? You don't randomly run into Hitmons. You have to pop in a lore. It's like specifically be there. So it's just very, very rare. That's so sick, dude. I think they're all lore encounters in Victory Road on like different floors. He said it's a 3% chance for Hitmontop, 5% chance for Hitmonchan at the same layer of the cave. Okay, so like 8% chance total, but you got but you hit the 3% as well. That's insane, dude. Fucking congrats, man. Question: if you breed a shiny with a non-shiny, do you get an increased chance of it being shiny or just a base percentage? You actually cannot breed a shiny Pokemon with a non-shiny in PokeMMO anymore. I believe you used to, but I could be wrong. The game will not let you. The game will physically not let you breed a shiny with a non-shiny. It's a fun little piece of trivia. I think that might be it, fellas. I don't know why I was in the mood for it, but an 8-hour stream on a Monday never killed nobody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me for streams Monday through Thursday. For streams at 12 p.m. ET. Sometimes just going 8 hours. I don't know why. Usually like a 4-hour stream, I would say on average. But thanks for watching. Keep playing PokeMMO, guys. I'll see you later. Did a lot of progress today. The Lunar event is creeping up on us, and hopefully we can get Suicune before that. I will see you guys later, though. Have a great day. For now, guys, signing off. Peace, Arena. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.